Order the Town of Swanton Selectboard meeting of 20 August 2024. It is 6 p.m. We'll start out with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Start with agenda review. Christina?
I don't have anything.
Nicole?
No.
Under old business, I just want to add the LVRT, because I know I sent everybody an email, but just publicly state the same thing that was in the email. Steve?
No, nothing.
Brian?
No, I just need to go in executive session briefly at the end to discuss a legal matter.
Okay. Legal and executive. Brian and I didn't meet with Tim Smith, and we're gonna have him at this meeting, but he couldn't get here till 7:15, and when we looked at the agenda, we said it's fairly short. So we told him to, we asked him to come to the next meeting, just did not wanna sit around here waiting for somebody to come.
And he's confirmed he can make it 2
Okay.
weeks from tonight.
So we have the minutes of the special select board meeting of 5 August 2024. I'll entertain a motion.
So move.
I'll second.
Motion's been made, second, to approve the minutes of the special select board meeting 5 August 2024. Any discussion? Here none. All in favor state aye. Aye. Opposed? So moved. Under public comment, does anybody have anything they want to add for stuff that is not on the agenda tonight? Mr. Nielsen? Heather? Okay. Law enforcement, Swanton Animal Control. This is what Jim submitted, I take it,
Yes,
Brian?
yep. For the month of July.
727 unlicensed dog at large.
Yeah.
Don't have any follow-up on that by the looks.
I hadn't, I'll check with Kathy tomorrow on that. See if there was a license.
Okay, don't know if anyone has any questions. If you could find that out and
Yep.
just follow up.
Yep.
All right. We'll move on to expenditures. It looks like we have the dates just on the front of 7/17/2024 to 8/20/24. Do I hear a motion to approve the general orders?
I'll make a motion to approve the general orders in the amount of $81,480.44.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded to approve the general orders, $81,480.44. I'll give everybody a minute to take a look. Well, a lot of different orders this particular 2-week period.
I like to see for the block party event, when we did the Swanton Bucks, it's nice to see the folks in the community supporting our local businesses with those cards.
Okay, one thing doesn't really pertain to approving these, but I think we should take a look at maybe funding another event like that next year. Because to me, that was a great turnout, and if we had 2 or 3 of those in
Yeah.
a course of a year, that would be great.
Yep.
I think that could be enrolled into several different standing events right now that are people are already out moving around in the community.
Yep. Any other discussion on the general orders? Hearing none, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Highway orders.
Make the motion that we approve the highway orders in the amount of $53,147.88.
Wait a second.
Second.
Motion been made second, approve the highway orders in the amount of $53,147.88. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor state aye.
Right,
Aye.
Ah,
you want this one, Nicole?
Sure, make a motion to approve the library orders in the amount of $3,757.98.
There a second?
So, second, thanks.
Motion made second, approve the library orders in the amount of $3,757.98. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor state aye.
Right,
Aye. So moved. Highway and general payroll.
I'd make a motion that we approve the highway and general payroll expenses for $43,271.95.
There a second?
I will second that.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the highway and general payroll orders for the total amount $43,271.95. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? So moved. Library payroll.
Is that my turn, Nicole?
I can make the motion to approve the library payroll in the amount of $9,061.63.
I'll second it.
Motion been made and second, approve the library payroll for $9,061.63. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Special orders. Entertain a motion. I think you're up, Steve.
Okay, I'll make a motion, we approve the special orders for $17,047.93.
I'll second that.
Motion been made and second to approve the special orders of $17,047.93. Any discussion?
On the rec department improvements, they truly do make a vast improvement.
Those windows?
Yes.
Good. I think for the $561 is money well spent. Any other discussion? Here none, all those in favor state aye. Aye. Opposed, so moved. All right, give me just 1 second here. Get back to my agenda. Page 2, Highway Department report. Okay. Dig that out, just had it out a minute ago. There it is. Vehicles, overall vehicles in good shape. The 2005 Mack dump truck clutch issue, worked on it today. They're gonna try it tomorrow and see if they've corrected the problem. If not, they will have to change the clutch on that. Something they will do in-house. 2009 Volvo dump truck, that was one that had the computer issue. The computer issue got fixed. There was an issue with the brakes after that. It's right now being looked at Trans-Eastern Trucks. Should be worked on tomorrow and then returned to us. That repair should not be costing us money. It's something that happened in the whole transit with the dump truck. If they try to bill us on that, we're gonna have some discussion with them, and I'll explain that more if we need to, but right now, that's where we're at. I asked Kevin to call down, and I didn't get an answer back from him regarding our new dump truck, and if we got any date yet of when they're gonna work on it, 'cause here we are getting to the end of summer, and it's time to start pushing them if,
Is it due this fall?
yes. Yeah, waiting just to get it scheduled in and get the plow and things put on it. And
What was the total cost on that?
That, I-
$250?
I was not here during that process, I am not sure.
I remember a number around $250 or more.
It would, that
I'm
sounds,
just curious, you're not looking up. right?
No, I'm thinking between, you're in the general Powell part.
Yeah, we were amazed at the cost.
Yeah.
But
they-
I can send an email.
No, that's okay, don't go to extra work, I just curious, that's all.
Yeah, they're very expensive now. Work since the last report, a lot of tree removal, mowing, ditch work. The wind, obviously 10 days ago, that caused a lot of branches to come down as well. Kevin has really taken on looking at trees and marking them and getting to them when he can. We only so far are contracting 2 of them that are beyond our capability, but a lot of them we can do, and then we will contract the ones that we think are too much. They set up and took down for the vote-in, and they're doing vehicle maintenance. Couple things since the last report wanted to talk about. You got some paper in front of you from East Engineering, Tyler Billingsley. That's a Swanton Hill Road, and I just want to talk about this for a minute and make sure the board is comfortable. And then Kevin and I will go up there, and then I want to meet with the town town lawyer and discuss what a proposed way ahead. On the drawing of the road, which is this one, and it's an eye test. The lower part is the actual profile. Excuse me, the dotted line is the existing center line of the road.
When you say dotted line, you're talking about this,
No, on the bottom,
oh, down here, okay.
Profile.
down here, which is basically giving the elevation of the center line of the road. And to get it down below a 10% grade is the red line. And 10% is kind of the optimal max grade. But some paperwork from the state here talks about, thank you very much. Talks about you can, in mountainous areas, possibly go up as high as a 15% grade. In a rolling hill area, 11%. In order to get to the 10%, we would have to blast out, his note here talks about, I think
Is the 10% an increase in the grade or a drop in the grade?
it would, right now it's like 20-something percent.
Oh,
Yeah, and currently the steepest part's 21%. And that's in his email, kind of explaining this. And to drop it, we'd have to drop it let's see what he said here, the number of feet, but it's significant. 15 feet. And that's a significant amount of ledge removal. I am comfortable going down to 14%, which is a 7 or 8 foot cut. Couple things here is, we've went back to Tyler and said, instead of going straight, which when I say straight, it's got a slight curve, that is what we originally was talking about doing, is staying with the existing road right away that we have and using that. And Tyler said, yes, I actually like that as a better option. It's a little bit trickier doing the work because you have to keep that road passable. There's only 3 homes up there. And Tyler feels it can be done. There's no wetlands involved. There would be a wetland permit needed if we went with the other option. You get slightly more distance by keeping the curve, so that helps with the slope issue.
curve, when you say curve, you talking about this one?
That's the existing road is the one you're pointing to right now.
Okay, so this would be the new one, just
That would be the new one.
proposed.
But what we want, that was the original proposed a couple of years ago. And then looking at it, talking with Kevin up there, and then going back to Tyler and giving him that contract, we said, take a look. It's staying with the existing road, which is the one that has all the red marks on it. And for all the right reasons, Tyler's in agreement too, is we stay with the existing road. But the reason we want to go to the town attorney is just to make sure he feels comfortable that if we go over the 14%, we're not opening ourselves up to a lawsuit. because the state ideally would like to keep it at 10% or less. Some of the roads, French Hill Road up there, they're already in the 14% range. So I think we have a good case, and two things is I think we should stay with the existing road, and we should go down to about 14%. Keep that speed limit on that at about 25 miles an hour. There's very few people who use it. We will drop the incline by about 7%, because its max is 21 right now. And it'll be less money, but it'll also be a safe road if it's done right and banked right. Again, there's other roads around that have 14%.
Could there ever be any other buildings up there? Or is that land pretty much owned up?
It doesn't extend very far
doesn't,
beyond the
no.
culvert, so someone would have to come before and build the road. And,
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
yeah, there's
the land is mostly owned by the one family.
right.
The bulk of it, which their son was interested in building a house there someplace, but we didn't hear any more from him, but he hasn't come in to talk about permitting or anything, so, he may still, but.
Yeah, we haven't
I don't
heard
think-
any more. If we stay within our right of way, then that just becomes less of an issue
Right,
too.
that's right, yeah.
But I think that's our best bet if we get the approval, I think what we do is we talk to the attorney and then we write a memo for the record on why we are doing what we're doing. So if something ever happened and someone tried to sue us, we'd show we did our due diligence and looking at what the state requirements are and what the path is we chose to move forward.
So what do you think would serve the town best? Going with the 14% grade?
Go with 14%, right around the 14% is the max grade, and use the existing road right away. Just spend a little bit of, few hours maybe with the attorney, and that would come right out of the project money we have set aside for this, and if we're good to go, we'll get Tyler to finish up and probably do this in the spring. I don't think we'll get to it this fall.
What do you think is going to be the cost on this?
I think we budgeted 160, of which we only put half of the money in for 2024, and then we were gonna put the other half in. I think we get a revised budget after Tyler takes a look at this and the total number of cubic yards of material we gotta blast out of there.
You think that would cover it?
Oh, I think so, because we're gonna do all the other work.
Gotcha.
All the stone, we'll haul all that, so all we gotta do is pay for the stone, not the, someone else to truck it and the excavator and everything else. We'll bring our excavator loader up there, and it'll be quite a project for our guys. I feel pretty good about.
So you're looking for a motion to move forward with the recommendation of dropping it down 14% so we can keep this thing moving?
Yes, and to stay with the same right away. And that's all contingent on coming back and reporting to you after that. But I just wanted to get a feel if the board's comfortable or not with that. That's where we are with this project right now.
I'm okay with it.
I'm comfortable with it as well.
Yeah, I don't even think we need a motion. I think we got it on record, and we'll report back after we
Okay,
take it further.
thank you. That's a lot of work.
And then an update on Brooklyn Street is Tyler has given us a basic drawing of putting in the culvert, but we don't have the surveyor's report yet of the exact boundaries. As soon as we get that, we'll come to the board, show them what the proposed project is. That one's gotta get a wetlands permit, so that Brooklyn Street won't happen till next spring, time we get the permit.
Where's the culvert that they're talking about on Brooklyn Street?
It's right at the end of
Yeah,
it.
just to the end.
If you drive just about to the end of it,
Towards 78?
no,
The other end.
the western end,
Okay.
and if you look over to the south side, about 4 feet down is a storm drain, and that's a village, that's connected to the village sanitary sewer.
Yes.
And that's the impetus of this project, is to get that draining into a ditch and separated from the sanitary sewer.
Remember the Mr. and Mrs. Grandchamp that lived down at the end of Brooklyn Street years ago? That was just right on their property. just
Oh, okay,
before their
sure.
house, yeah.
Thank you.
And as far as the next few weeks for the highway, tree removal, ditching, mowing, and vehicle repair, what on the agenda. Any other questions or anything for highway? Okay, Old Town Business. I asked to have this put on, discussion of the revolving loan fund. Kind of wish Earl and Cody were here, so I don't know if we want to table this until they get here, or if we want to continue. Brian and I did talk with Cassie, right? Cassie Bell, of the Department of Housing and Community Development. And I guess we can talk about what we discussed there a little bit, and then we can decide if we're gonna hold off or not, because I know this one has got folks on both sides, whether to keep this going forward or not. One thing she said, the money needs to keep moving. 3 years, I think you have to have at least 25% expended, and we haven't even done that. There's 141 funds out there, 30 of them have revolving loan funds. Many are turning the money back because they're finding out it's not as feasible as originally thought. Some of the issues, town the size of Swanton, the infrastructure is not in place for us to manage this. We don't have a system for billing. We need to create a plan. Can only use that money for job retention and job creation. Johnson has a revolving loan fund, I think it's similar, and so far they haven't had a loan given out.
Joel, just what you said, that had to be, 25% had to be used over a particular period of time?
It sounded like we needed to keep the money rolling, and maybe I didn't take that note right. Maybe, well, we haven't spent any, right?
We haven't spent any.
So if we didn't use it up, we'd have to,
Give it back, they'd
Give it
ask for it
back.
back anyway. Yes. After hearing the discussion, I know I'm not a fan of us keeping it. If the money goes back to the state, that wraps into the other monies that they have, and that allows for bigger projects to be funded. And for us, if anything, I think if we supported some bigger projects, if we knew of some people, some investors, existing businesses wanted some bigger project money, and we supported it, it would be better spent than us sitting on that money and trying to loan it out. Again, it can be used for job creation and to save jobs.
just to give you a little background, you talked about some of the money not being used. Probably 10 years ago, I was asked to take a look at how much of the old CDBG money, Community Development Block Grant money, that was given out. Each time you received a block grant, 25% went to the local municipality that sponsored the loan. And that money came back, it was supposed to have been put into a revolving loan fund and then lent out. So there was a concern that it probably wasn't being utilized. We had come up with a proposal where the money might be given to the Vermont Economic Development Authority and let them lend it out for the various projects, depending on the loan programs. We stopped at 41 million bucks that we found that were sitting in savings accounts, some still in checking accounts. Some communities were using it for roof repair, and so we stopped it, investigating at 41 million, and the state said you probably don't go any further, and there's the pro bono thing, was fine with me. I guess that's an example. These funds just weren't being used, weren't being utilized. We have an organization in Vermont called the Vermont Small Business Development Center. They are excellent. They are where you send somebody that's looking at starting a small business, and they will work with you on budget prep, written planning, execution. They'll bring you to different financing resources, which would include the state. And my concern is, first of all, we shouldn't be in this business anyway, but we might be just duplicating something that's working very, very well out there, which is a Small Business Development Center. I was an advisor to them for years. They got some real pros in that organization. So my feeling is, let's put the money where it can be utilized much more efficiently, and surgically they will go right after the project with the potential borrower and meet all of the lending requirements. Just to give you another example, if we were to make a loan to someone and we took a lien on their house, not uncommon, we'd have to comply with Regulation Z. We'd have to issue rights of rescission, and the list goes on and on and on. We would have the responsibility of providing. Violating any of those, the borrower can walk away from the loan, and we could be sued. So there's so many complicating factors in all of this. I just think let's give the money back to the pros.
And I know you're pretty much a fan of trying to do something, and I know Earl was, talking about interested in, a few thousand might save somebody's business or something, but again, after looking into it further, that's where I am, and that's where Steve is, and
I respect that, and I appreciate that there was more efforts to looking into it, because if for job creation and job retention, right now, I don't know that our community could utilize that to its fullest potential.
And again, I think we could do a better job of supporting some business that is seeking a bigger project through one of these agencies that you mentioned a couple, and
that's what banks do. They'll work with a client, with a borrower, a potential borrower, and bring in all of these organizations. We call it the Alphabet Group. And they'll bring them all in and come up with a program with blended rates and things. So yeah, we could be very supportive with letters of recommendation or whatever. And plus take this amount of paperwork that would be required to be a participant in this program, take it off the town administrator's desk. That's a lot of work that would require out of Brian's office. So I would make a motion that if you would agree to accept it, that we turn this money back into the state. And now the other thing that my final comment is, anytime we have a prospect that we think we can help, it's not just the local banks, but you get Franklin County Industrial Development Court. They have access to all of these programs. So we could refer them out there. They have a Small Business Development Center officer that services this community that works out of Tim's office. They utilize his office. So the resources are 9 miles away. So I would make a motion that we turn it back into the state or whoever gave us the money.
I have a question.
yeah, no, right now, we got a motion that's been made on the floor. So I'm gonna ask whether or not you want to second it at this time.
I think I feel comfortable just giving that a second at this time.
Do what?
I do feel comfortable giving it a second at this time.
Okay, motion's been made, seconded, that we turn the money back in, that the town has under the revolving loan fund. Among the board members, is there any discussion? Further discussion?
No further discussion.
And because it's a small meeting tonight, I'm gonna let you ask the question.
Mute point now, but I was just trying to understand what you were saying, Steve, on this loan program. It would have been the same paperwork for the village to do as it does for the organizations that manage them too then?
I'm assuming.
That it would be the same kind of paperwork and red tape? Because, I also...
Probably.
Yeah, because I was thinking also, with the closing of the bridge, I mean, that was a big impact on our small businesses, huge. And I didn't even know if they knew about this kind of program. And in a couple more years, we're gonna get hit again with it being closed for the major repairs in 2030. And, that's what I was thinking of on something like this.
So
That's where it would get utilized.
And this money was only for job creation and retention.
Right, well,
It wouldn't
retention,
be for financial assistance. But you raise a good point.
yeah.
When we continue to discuss this bridge with the state, we ought to insist on a new bridge being put in so we can continue to use this old bridge for transportation. That would kill our downtown. And all the
Yes.
folks that are putting in so much effort into revitalizing downtown, and they're doing a good job at it, we'd kill them.
Yeah.
So just throwing that out. Good point.
That's what I was
Okay.
thinking of.
All right.
Good point.
Thank you.
Thank
No further discussion, all those in favor state aye.
All right.
Aye. Ayes have it. Report on road name. This is a follow-up to the public comment that took place at the last meeting, and Brian put something in our paperwork.
Maybe Mrs. Briggs would be on YouTube or on Zoom. Anyhow, I just gave a summary of, well, this came about. Mrs. Briggs purchased property last year at 231 Lakewood Drive.
Is she on the lakeside?
No, she's on the other side.
Other side.
Now, on that property is a deeded right-of-way that was recorded back on December 1st, 1975, to Mark and Edna Casey to access property, and in addition, a right-of-way to Casey Cars, which we know was owned by Mark and Ken Casey.
So the land across the street had a right of way to get to the lake.
Right.
All right, now.
And then there was also on this side of the street, across from the lake, is a right-of-way to go up and access property in the rear.
That was just sold?
That was just sold to the, to Ryan Jordan. Now, Mr. Jordan purchased it from Michael and Diane LaFar. The LaFars, when they owned that land, requested the right-of-way be given a street name of Queens Court.
Now that right of way went way up into the pasture?
Yep.
Really?
As Diane's nickname was Queenie, and so this is where Queens Court came in. They sold it to Ryan Jordan, who has applied for and received approval for a 5-lot subdivision to construct 5 rental duplexes. So, Mrs. Briggs has been informed of this whole chain of events, and she's,
Does she abut the right of way?
yeah, she says that she owns the right of way, but she doesn't.
Yeah, I was just gonna say,
It's
so-
on her land.
So
but-
if her house is across the street,
No, it's on.
On the lake?
It's on the other side of the street, adjacent to Queens
when you
Court,
say the other side, not on the lakeside?
not on the lakes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So she owns the land, but there's a right of way
There
on
is
the
a
land,
deeded
yes.
right of way and has
Got
been.
it. Thank you.
Yeah. And so, anyways, the only one who can request a change of name on that street is Mr. Jordan. I have informed her of this before, but she didn't want my answer for it, so, but that's who, it was all legally adopted. Unfortunately, there was no, back when they were giving out the street names and adopting them, they weren't specifically mentioned in the minutes of the meeting. And so this was given out probably around maybe 2014, it was somewhere between 2005 and 2014. All they said is the list of proposed names is approved, and there's no list in the minutes. There's no, I went into all the files, and there were never any lists of the names. So that's what we had. And Mr. Jordan, when I last spoke to him about this several months ago, he was not in any position to wanting to request a
But
change
should
of
we
name.
even be looped into this discussion? This has nothing to do with us.
Nothing to do with it. No, really, it doesn't. Really.
Well, we approve street names, right?
Right, you approve street name.
Right, so I guess,
But Mr.
Jordan.
Jordan would have to come to us.
right, and that's what I think we
Right.
should put in a
That's-
formal letter back and
Yeah.
just
Right, yeah. That's-
reiterate what you got here, and
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, that's,
Nothing to do with us.
So that's, okay, that's what, I can do that.
yeah, that's what I think we should do, and unless Mr. Jordan comes back and says, I'd like to change the name, and we'll leave it at
But I
that.
don't think that will happen, but in any case, so that's that.
Okay, and then under Old Town Business, added the Lamoille Valley Rail Trail. Just want to state publicly that we had a bid opening, and unfortunately, we did not receive any bids for the construction. I think there were several factors. One is the time of the season, and another one that's probably even bigger factor is the contractors have to be approved by the state And a lot of the contractors approved by the state right now are fixing stuff related to the flooding and the high waters and, rains that we've had, and very busy. So the plan right now is to go back out on the street in early 2025, so that we have the bids, all the paperwork ready, and be able to start construction, once the frost is out of the ground. But just wanted to get that publicly out there. Newtown business, AC repair,
Yeah.
public library.
A couple of things in the library, this is the major one, but we have some water leaking in the wall in the library on the First Street side in the basement. So I gotta get over there this week with Kevin, probably, to see if he's busy tomorrow. Take a look about, it's behind the plywood where some panels are on, but we don't think it's exactly in the area where the panels are. So maybe we can cut that out and look at if it's coming in through a crack and fill the crack. But I'll get over there, which I would have.
There's a lot of water coming in, right?
Not a lot, and it's going right into the sub pump.
We have a video if you'd like to
Yeah.
see.
Take a look at it. So it is going where it's supposed to be going?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we will,
Is it causing any concerns for what's in the cellar or around that area?
no, because it's going,
It looks like it's coming right down off the wall and going into the drainage system that
Yeah.
we put in, which is
right.
why it's
Yeah.
there.
But anyways, when we put in the new HVAC system
Thank you.
last year, in an effort to save money, we said, well, one of the units was relatively new and was in good shape and didn't need a new one, so the board at that time elected not to replace it. Well, a couple of weeks ago, Abby called me and said that half of the upstairs did not have air conditioning, and so I placed a call to Alliance, and they came and said, well, that unit, the compressor and dryer is burned out. And so I said, well, which unit is it? Is it one of the new ones? Because that was just installed last year. They said, no, it's the one that wasn't taken. So they sent this quote to get it fixed. It's $3,760. And that's include labor and equipment. So I'm just looking for the okay to
Did
get
they
that
put the other
repaired.
system together for us?
Yeah.
Alliance?
Yeah. And we have the service contract with them on it. So.
All right. Anybody wanna make a motion?
Wanna do it?
I'll make the motion to approve the, the bid from Alliance Mechanical for the necessary repairs or replacement to the compressor, the AC compressor at the public library in the amount of $3,760.
How long will the warranty be on this, Brian?
That I'm not sure. I can check with them.
Just curious.
Yeah. I know on the new stuff that went in was a year, so a year full, and then 5 years partial.
I'd second the motion.
Motion been made second to the repairs at the library at an amount of $3,760. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor state aye.
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 Okay, so I'll get that ordered tomorrow, 'cause there's a 3 to 4 weeks, so we'll hope for seasonal temperatures for the next month or so.
Promoting Swanton meeting.
Well, that was, Earl wanted that on the agenda to talk about the meeting he's attended with the Promoting Swanton. Said it would be very brief.
Is that anything you attended?
I was not able to attend, but I can just give a brief update. Just 1 second and let me find my notes. So just to continue to keep the group informed, as part of the initiative, We're planning to meet next on the 28th of August at the Village Complex, if anybody's interested in participating. Mr. Hank Lambert will be there from the Beautification Committee. And we've also asked some other stakeholders to attend. We're gonna continue the conversation on a brochure as well as a downtown bingo game to encourage folks to get out and shop local. And then we were talking about a community-wide swan scavenger hunt to encourage folks to visit some of the businesses in the outlying parts of the town and also to explore them. Other things that we're looking on promoting would be plans with the Abenaki to continue to support their cultural events. Looking to talk about the picnic area at Marble Mill or on the side of the bridge by the VFW, as well as the block party that was really seen as a success from this group, and so that's something that we would like to continue to do moving forward.
28th is the meeting?
Today.
The 28th, yes,
Oh, I think you said 20.
What time?
of August, 6 p.m. at the Village Complex.
Okay, thank
There will
you.
be Zoom accessibility possibly.
Zoning bylaw revisions.
Yeah, Earl was gonna report on that too, because he had had a conversation with Amy. But pretty much, the revision process, from what I understand is, and jump in, because you attend all the planning commission meetings. They're continuing going through the revision process with the planning commission, and it was expected to be late fall, that the planning commission will present the zoning bylaws changes to the select board after they have their public hearing. And then I would suggest at that point, my suggestion would be with that public hearing for so that we have the village trustees there as well.
Any
That's
major
a good-
changes, Brian?
Well, there will be some. I don't know the exact changes. I haven't seen
A lot of
any.
it is the stuff that the state has changed.
Yeah, the state has mandated certain changes. But one is to increase the height of structures. And presently it's 35 feet. I believe it's 35 feet
They agreed the other night
to go
to 3 stories or
65
I think
feet.
65 feet, because the fire truck can go up to 72 feet. But the way the state has it, if your bylaws say 3 feet, if they do low income housing, they could go an additional stories. So you don't want to go 4 feet because that's what the fire truck can reach, because technically they can go 5.
Okay.
So things of
That's
that
the height
nature.
truck, because the fire chief was here the other night for that, because they wanted his input on some things of what the fire trucks could access, locations, response times, and stuff like that.
Is this just in the village proper?
No,
or
this
is
is
the whole-
everything?
townwide.
Whole,
That's managed, but the bylaws apply to everybody, that's
Yeah.
right. I thought it was gonna be very significant, but it sounds like maybe just
They've gone
specific.
through a lot, they're changing a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's,
Cause we have to see it twice, I think,
yeah,
cause before we approve it and,
yeah.
okay.
And now, and one of the things the state has done that, and this is not really a zoning, this is already in effect, they've mandated the towns that they have to allow accessory dwellings placed, say, in the rear of a property. So you have your house here, but you have a large backyard, well, you can build another dwelling behind you.
40 feet high?
Well, I'm not sure what but you can put another, the problem is when we're trying to give that a 911 address. And I'm not sure if they ever weighed in on what's going on. 911 in Montpelier wanted us to completely rename a whole street, renumber it, because of one person put one of those accessory dwellings, and I thought, I'm not gonna do that. Either they're gonna get a letter in their address, and or not. And then the gas company won't bring service to a house with a letter in their address, but they want to go with like 40 and a half. The post office prohibits the use of 40.5, they want letters. I said, somebody's gotta get on the page here.
All right,
So that's, I'm sure we'll have continuing discussions with
There's
that.
all this kind of stuff.
okay. Community and economic development, I don't see anything listed there. We just talked about Tim will be here on the 3rd of September. Any other necessary business?
Well, I had correspondence, was the information from, I received
Right.
from the public access channel.
Yeah, I think we should send a letter back. We'll discuss it as part of our general budget later this 2024.
Okay.
And just for the public's information, Brian and I spoke earlier, I'm not sure if you guys were part of this, but we can already capture the meetings. We don't need this organization to film the meetings for us. It's already gonna be memorialized here. I mean, it's good because a lot of people watch this station. When they stop me and they'll say, oh, I see you said that. So they really do watch it, but the other thing is it duplicating something where they could get this information, it wouldn't cost us $4,000. So maybe we can have that discussion too.
Yep, absolutely. That's what we'll do. We'll have that discussion.
But it is a.
You okay with that?
Yeah, I'm okay with postponing it, but just to note that supporting this organization, they do more than just municipal board meetings. They support our community as a whole and sharing information widely.
And again, if we're gonna discuss it later, won't go too far with it, but we might just have a set amount we give them every year like we do other.
Like an allocation.
Yeah, like we do others,
Yeah.
but not necessarily, so that'd be part of the
Yeah.
discussion.
No, they play an important role, no question.
Okay, public comment, second chance. All right, thank you very much for attending upcoming events.
Thursday, August 29th, 2024, the DRB will meet at 6 p.m. here at the town offices and on Zoom. Monday, September 2nd, 2024, will be Labor Day. The town offices and operations will be closed. Tuesday, September 3rd, 2024, will be a regular select board meeting, 6 p.m. here at the town offices.
Okay.
Where the hell did August go?
I know,
Yeah.
that's why I was shaking my head, the summer's winding down.
Where did 2024 go?
Going fast.
Executive session for legal, I'll entertain a motion.
I move that we find that we enter executive session for the select board to receive confidential legal information for which the premature disclosure of it to the general public would clearly place the select board and others at a substantial disadvantage.
Okay, Steve,
No, second.
motion been made and seconded, roll call vote, Steve.
Oh, aye.
Aye.
Joel, aye. All right, second motion, please.
I move that based on our just made findings, the premature disclosure would place the select board and others at a substantial disadvantage. We enter executive session.
You get a second?
Oh, second it.
Okay, roll call.
Recording stopped.
Motion been made and seconded, roll call vote, Steve.
Aye.
Aye.
Nicole, aye. Joel, aye. All right,
I have it.
entertain a motion to come out of executive session.
I make a motion to exit executive session at 6:54 p.m.
I second that motion.
Motion been made and seconded, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Make a
I would like to make a motion that we authorize our town administrator to spend up to $2,000 on litigation, lawyer's fees for an eviction of a property in Swanton.
I'll second that.
motion's been made and seconded to authorize up to $2,000 for legal fees for eviction of a property in Swanton. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion to adjourn.
I entertain a motion to adjourn, Mr. Chair.
I'll second.
Motion's been made, second to adjourn. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor state aye.
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 Aye, so moved.